pretty much a good trinity right
That's
there.
the trio that I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Today, we are going to be doing a review for Bob Marley's One Love. It's the new biopic film from Paramount Pictures, and it's directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, who is known for the King Richard movie, We Own This City, the TV miniseries, and Monsters of Men.
He's known for the King Richard movie, the one with Jamie Foxx?
The one with Will Smith.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking, why was I thinking of Ray? For some reason. I don't know.
No. The one with Will Smith. So Bob Marley, One Love. We just got out of watching it, and I think that this was a very, very great biopic. It's the story of how reggae icon Bob Marley basically overcame adversity and the journey behind his revolutionary movement in music.
Yeah, I thought it was awesomely paced. Like this movie, in presenting the material when he was coming up, just little bits and segments throughout the film. I thought how that was segmented, like that was really perfect way to present that material, honestly.
There's a lot of things that I didn't know going into this movie that I came out being kind of surprised about. I didn't know about just some of the like tragic backstory of Bob Marley in general, just as generic upcoming, and I was surprised, and I actually really enjoyed this story a lot.
Yeah, there's one thing I knew about the tragic thing with his foot. I knew about that from a documentary.
I didn't know it was just his foot. So.
I didn't go away that I didn't know that he was pretty much shot at one of his concerts in Jamaica, and he was shot at his house, which I did not know that, and he fled to make Exodus. Like I didn't know any of that. Yeah,
so it was really, really beautiful to see kind of just like this behind the scenes story, and we all love this music very much. So
yeah, this community where we live in Humboldt, there's a lot of reggae influence. A lot of people like reggae music here. We also have a festival that takes place during the summer called Reggae on the River. So big reggae up here.
Reggae is it's crazy how the genre reggae is basically like Bob Marley is the face of that genre almost. When you think of reggae, you think of Bob Marley.
I think of Bob Marley, and I think of Peter Tosh. Those are like the two people.
And Peter Tosh. Before we get into this episode any further and talk about the movie with spoilers and all that jazz, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you really want to support us, and go follow us on our socials, like interacting with the community that we're building, and I want to see more of it. So go over there to Instagram and Twitter, or X now, and also go to patreon.com/thecalvincam. Go join one of our 3 tiers. Really support us, makes us bigger and better, and we can produce better content for you going forward. So let's get back into this episode.
I was going to say, the other person than reggae, Jimmy Cliff.
Okay, Jimmy Cliff. Yeah, Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff. That was the last person I wanted to add.
Yeah. That's pretty much a good trinity right there.
That's the trio that I know.
This movie, let's jump back into the movie. It's very it has very heavy elements to it. Like the message of love is so deep. I mean, like obviously the message of love is deep, obviously. But it's just the way that Bob had to deal with spreading this message to not only the world, but to basically Jamaica, and like uniting like the two political views that are clashing and causing bloodshed in the streets, and just different diversities and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, and there was also 2 big political leaders in Jamaica that asked him to do this concert at the end.
Yeah.
You need to unify the country because our country's in a revolution right now.
Yeah. So, which is crazy, and just to see the entirety of the people of Jamaica idolize Bob the way that they did through his messages of music. And I love, speaking of that, I love the constant reminder of music being messages also. Like, it was just like they're one and the same.
Yeah, and their love for him, you can see that in the end scene when he comes home from being on tour. Like, everybody was there at the airport to greet him. Everyone's in the streets. Everyone's grabbing his car. It's just like, it's really, really, really well done.
Now I want to talk about Kingsland Ben-adir. He played Bob Marley. He is great in this role. I thought he was fantastic and very charming and very charismatic. And I thought that, you know, he really brought a lot of light and love to the character. Kingsley Ben-adir, he was in a lot of movies. I just looked up his filmography because I knew I recognized him, but I wasn't sure from. And like the most recent thing was Barbie. Like, if you remember in Barbie, he's the Ken who's the lifeguard with Ryan Gosling. He's when they all went to the beach and she pulled off her shoes to show the girls her problem with the flat feet. He's the one who's like leaning over the lifeguard tower going, and I just it was crazy. I was just like, oh my god, just a surreal moment realizing that was him. I know that he's also in Secret Invasion, which is a Marvel project, and which is funny because his co-star Lashana Lynch, she is also in Marvel. She is Maria Rambeau, so from the Captain Marvel and the Marvels and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So it's got a little tie into some Marvel action going on. But yeah, the two lead actors, I think they were phenomenal.
I thought that Kingsley Ben-adir and Lashana Lynch, like their chemistry as, you know, Bob and Rita Marley, like,
yeah,
they were just phenomenal in this film.
And I feel like you could really tell and feel their like love connection. Like it was a very real thing. And I loved, even though this is a con of the movie, I should say, is like, I thought the flashbacks in this movie were a little confusing at times, because at first it doesn't really like, it doesn't do a good way of presenting itself and telling you that it actually is a flashback until like you're like a minute into the flashback and you're like, oh, it's a flashback. So that kind of like pulled me out of the main story. But overall, like once you figure out it's a flashback, it's great. It's great information that you're getting. But I love the relationship that it constantly goes back on and is building that love between the two of them throughout the movie. Even their ups and downs, you see some of the problems they encounter in the relationship. And I'm sure that it's hard, especially with Bob spreading such a ginormous message to the world, leaving his family behind, or his kids, you know, in Delaware and also in Jamaica. And so I could tell that upon the rise, there definitely was bumps, and it's crazy just to see how well they work together to overcome all of the obstacles of their partnership. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. And I also love the Whalers. Like, I think the Whalers are amazing. One scene that I really loved in this movie was when they first were starting out in a flashback, and they go to the recording studio in Jamaica, and they're singing this song, and they're just jamming out, and it's like super catchy. And the guy who didn't want to sign them comes back in, and he's like, oh my god. And he stands and he like looks over at the guy in the booth, like seeing if he's recording this, and the guy's like dancing on.
Yeah, he's jamming out, but at first, they're just doing basically classic, like at the time, which was probably like 50s music, and like, there's nothing original about you guys. Why would I want to sign you? And then they're like, wait, and then they do that song, and it's just like, okay, got you guys. He goes, is this a hit or what? And it was just like, it was really good. That was probably a really good portrayal in that flashback.
I think so. And the music in this movie, just the choices that they used from his complete arsenal of music.
Yeah, his discography.
Like, it's just they picked really great songs that like true fans would really know, songs that generic fans would know, just bringing kind of everyone together, like the title One Love.
Like I think they brought him on. They brought him in the scenes at really good times.
Yeah.
Like, also I did like the Wailers at that scene when they were. I guess Exodus was a movie that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And I like the whole lead on into the story of how that song was created. Like he's upstairs. They're
playing the Bible and stuff.
Yeah, he's reading the Bible, and then the Wailers are listening to that song from the soundtrack, and then he comes downstairs and he just writes a song, and it's Exodus. And it's like Exodus, everyone knows the song.
There's the whole album right there.
It's really cool.
And I also love the comedic moments in this movie. Really shine too. A lot of just the friendly banter between him and the Wailers, and a lot of the friendly banter between him and the management of his press, of his tour, his press, and everything. When they brought the Exodus album cover to the guy, he was like, "I know young kids who read the Bible don't like the Bible." It's just funny, and just what he thought of the cover. He's just like, this is just very plain. It's just one word. It's just Exodus. I think that the overall like creation of the music in the studio, I thought that was really funny as well. There were some parts that I was like, this kind of feels uncomfortable, just because I could tell that like Bob was like really trying to, he was just trying to find the music. And I don't mean uncomfortable to watch. I mean, like, you could tell that the character was just uncomfortable, like figuring it out. Like, he's just like, this is just not sticking. It's not working. Like, but overall, like, eventually, they figure it out, and it's good. Like, it's really good. So I guess, let's get into our final reviews for this movie.
What did you think? We'll start with you this time.
I think that this is a great biopic. We've had Bohemian Rhapsody, we've had Rocket Man, we've had, all these biopics of these musicians, and I think that this is a very, very good one. I don't think it's the best. I think there are some issues overall, but I think that this is sitting somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4-star for me. So I'll say 3.5 stars. I think that the music's wonderful and the performances are wonderful. The cinematography is great. Of course, the score is great, and I feel like the production of this movie is fantastic too. But there are confusing elements within the story itself of the way the story is presented. There's pacing, the back and forth between the flashbacks, I think, is a little confusing. And I feel like I wanted more. I feel like I didn't get enough. So, I will give this a 3.5.
Okay. I like this movie. I'm going to give it a 4. I thought the story was okay. The story was good. I also love the music aspect of this. The cinematography of this movie was amazing. I liked that in the beginning before the film, I know you kind of missed this, Ziggy Marley comes in and says, basically, I hope you enjoy our film. This is kind of, we worked with the producers and everyone on involved in this production to make this the most authentic, pictures possible to depict my dad's, and I just thought that was really cool.
It's very sweet.
And yeah, it was a good film, and it's a 4 for me.
All right. Okay, well, now since we've done our review, let's get into some fun facts about this movie. Bob Marley's son, Ziggy Marley, heavily influenced and approved the casting of Kingsley Ben-adir as the cinematic portrayal of his late father. So it sounds like Ziggy Marley actually like overlooked a lot of this
yeah,
film,
like you said, he was in the beginning. You missed that little segment, which was amazing, I thought.
Kai Marley, who is an actor, musician, and the son of Bob Marley, starred in the lead role of a 2003 movie named One Love. Actor Kingsley Ben-adir, who plays Bob Marley in the movie, is 6 feet 1.5 inches tall. Bob Marley was only 5 feet 6 3/4 inches tall.
Oh,
he's huge compared to him.
Damn. That's a big size comparison.
It is a big size comparison. But it's interesting the way that, film works and how we can depict people's sizes. I know that like Tom Cruise is pretty short, but like in a lot of roles, he looks pretty, not like overly tall, but just like not as short as he actually is. A title at the end of this film explains that Bob Marley was 36 years old when he passed away in 1981. Kingsley Ben-adir celebrated his 37th birthday during the filming of this movie.
That's cool.
So that's really cool. And that's it. That's all the fun facts for this movie.
All right.
So thank you all for listening so much to Bob Marley One Love review. I think that this is a great movie and it's definitely worth checking out. So
yeah. I would say go out and see this movie. It's definitely worth your time and definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, pay some homage to Bob Marley.
I mean, if you love Bob Marley, it's worth seeing.
All right. We'll catch you on the next one, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Calvin Cam podcast. We appreciate you all so very, very much. And if you like us, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps us out, as well as you can go over to our social media platforms like Instagram or X and follow us over there. We like to communicate and build our community up, as well as you could also go to patreon.com/thecalvincam and join one of our 3 tiers that we offer. We offer a couple of different benefits per tier, and it's good stuff, and it would really, really help us, and we'd really appreciate it, of course. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.